Welcome back. Mesechtes Chagigah, page 14a, closer to the top. If you're following along inside the Gemara, I would say 7 lines from the top inside the Gemara. So, Omalai Shmuel Lechia Barav. So Shmuel says to Chia, the son of Rav. Now Shmuel and Rav are very famous throughout Shas, where they challenge each other, where they have a difference of opinions in certain things. But they were obviously very close. They learned a lot together. So Shmuel showing, I'll use the term love, just lack of a better word, to Rav's son, which is basically the son of someone that he would toil with Torah, that would learn in Torah and argue, agree and disagree. So Shmuel tells to the son of Rav, Bar Arya, and he called him by a very loving name, the son of a lion, or the son of some great strong people. Tu Aimelach Milsa, come, let me tell you something. Let me come and tell you some stuff that your father used to say. So obviously he knew his father very well. I don't know when this happened, if his father was still around or not. But Shmuel here is sharing something with Rav's son, which his name is Chia, something about his father. So he said like this, Kol yoyme v'yoyme, every day, Nivrun Malachei Ashuris Mahar Dinner. Angels get created from that fiery river, or the river of fire that we have learned last time. Angels get created from it every day. The Amri Shira, and they say praise to Hashem, Ivotli, and then they disappear. Not just disappear, my English is bad. They become nothing. They disappear, more than just not visible, but not even existing. Shenemer, because it says in the Pusik, Chadushim labekurim rabu amenusachum. New get created, every day gets created newly. And how big is our trust in you? Now this Pusik really belongs to something else. It says, when we praise Hashem for what He has done to us, and that His mercy never ends. And then this Pusik, that phrase finishes off, meaning that every day new things get born, and how great is our trust in you. But Rav would say this phrase really means that new angels are being born every day from that fiery river. They say their praise and then they disappear. And he would argue, he would disagree with Shmuel, the son of Nachmoni. Why? What would he say? Shmuel, the son of Nachmoni, would say, and the name from Yonason, that called dibber the dibber every single word that went out of the mouth of Hashem, an angel was created from that. And he says, Shenemar, and he takes a different phrase. How do we know? Because it says, B'dvar Hashem Shemayim Nasa, with the words of Hashem, Shemayim, which is our atmosphere, got created. And from the air, from his mouth, Kol Tzavuam, his whole army, which really means all the stars, sun, moon, everything, the whole army of Hashem got created from the air in his mouth. Taking another deep breath here. So what are we learning here? That I lost my first initial thought. Okay, maybe it's going to come back. So let me first say, as to our translation, what I take away here. We have learned last time, Nahar Dinir is a term used to explain the idea of awareness, waking up from a sleep and becoming aware what happened here. And the ultimate time when that happens is when a person passes away from the world and he goes through this fiery river, meaning he goes through the ultimate awakening where he sees the reality, the true reality. And that could either hurt or be a blessing, right? Now, we're learning here an argument between Shmuel, saying it in the name of Rav to the son of Rav, he's saying it here, and then Shmuel, the son of Nachmoni, in the name of Rabbi Yonasan. Their argument is, from where do the angels get created? Do they get created from this fiery river, or they get created from Hashem speaking? Now I'm jumping, I know, I'll come back. I started off saying that the fiery river is the awareness. Now we're talking about the argument as to where do angels get created. So here I'm bringing them together. When people go through an awareness awakening in life, they suddenly find themselves now closer to Hashem, because that's what happens. The closer you get to truth, the more you realize in life the truth, the older you get and more life experience you get, the more connection you get to Hashem, the more you feel Hashem. And that's a praise that you relieve to Hashem. Now Hashem, what I've said yesterday is nothing today. I got something deeper to say. And that's an angel being created every day by a person that has went through the river of fire, went through the awakening of awareness, something becoming more aware. And ultimately that happens to people who pass away, that praise Hashem when they get to see the real reality. But Shmuel, the son of Nachmani, says that it's not the angel that says it. It's not the man or the person who has gone through this awakening, through the fiery river that says it. It's actually Hashem saying it. Hashem says, and with him saying, the world got created. Everything we know around us got created. And really, they're not arguing. Because as we grow older, as we get to know the truth more and more, we reach a point where we realize that all that we are is Hashem. When we speak, it's Hashem speaking. And it's really the same thing from Shmuel saying it in the name of Rav, as Shmuel, the son of Nachmani, is saying it in the name of Yonasan, saying the same thing from a different angle, from a different point of view. And it's the idea of a person getting closer to Hashem, realizing more and more how close he is, ultimately to a point that he realizes that all he is him. And when he's speaking, he has the power of speaking. Now, two things we see from this. Number one, we see how important and how dangerous it is for people to guard their tongue, to be careful what you say, especially people who have elevated themselves to a level where they are very close to Hashem. They have to be even more careful with their speaking, because they realize more and more what they speak is Hashem speaking. And it's the power. Now, of course, it's not all of Hashem. I once heard this comparison. There was a person who took a cup of water from the Atlantic Ocean, and he came to the town and he called out to the people, "I got the Atlantic Ocean in my hand." And of course, the people were like, "You got the Atlantic Ocean in your hand? You're crazy." The townspeople took him to a doctor. And the doctor asked, "Oh, you're crazy." They lock him up. And the police takes over the cup of water and they test it and investigate, and they see, yeah, it's the Atlantic Ocean water. There's nothing else in there. So they say, yes, you got it right. You got Atlantic Ocean in your hand, but it's not the Atlantic Ocean. All you got is the Atlantic Ocean. That's true. But you're not having the Atlantic Ocean in there. You're only one cup of it. So same is with us. When we realize we're Hashem, we're not the Hashem. We're only one cup. But that's all we are. All that we are is that one cup, fully only of Hashem. Being a soul, which is a part of Hashem, and being a creature that has been created, also coming from Hashem, because there was no other material to create the world. Ultimately, we are Him. And that's one lesson here, how important it is to guard our tongue. The lesson goes backwards too. How to get close to Hashem is by guarding the tongue. It goes both ways. Just while I talk here. Learning Torah, speaking to Hashem, and watching not to speak other things is a path that gets us closer to Hashem as well. Commentators say that the angels who get created and don't wait, they just say their praise to Hashem right away, they are the ones who disappear quickly. But there are angels who last forever and ever. Those angels, as we say in the prayer, they don't just call out their praise. They call to one another, as we say every day. They call to one another, and they all go together. Nobody proceeds faster or before the others. Just together, and we know what they say. They say, Kudash, Kudash, Kudash. That's how the angels praise Hashem, but they do it together. That's another lesson for us to life. That even when we get closer, if we want it to last, do it with a friend. Do it with another person. Do it with another guy to be able to share this experience of getting closer to Hashem. And that's how it lasts. If you just thank out Hashem with all you got right now and love Hashem with it, that may not last. But let's say you went through something, you survived, and you're doing now a big sidus haidua, a big party now to thank Hashem. That's something that's materializing it and making it last. That's the idea of the kuruzeh azeh. You call one to another, and that's how together you praise Hashem. That's how you materialize that praise and get it to last and get it to stay. Another thing I wanted to point out here, the Rambam says that everything in the world is with an angel. Okay? There isn't a blade of grass that doesn't have an angel responsible making sure that blade of grass actually grows. And the same is true that there isn't a blade of grass that doesn't have a purpose in this world. It's every little speck of dust that exists, has a job, has a reason, has a time frame from when to when it exists, and has an angel, and some say is an angel. Which means, and this is basically the key of what I've been using all along till here, that when we say and we talk about angels, it doesn't mean an invisible force, something that's spiritually and we don't see it and comes from Hashem. It could really mean a human being. It could mean a piece of wood that hit you now as you walk by. It could be a piece of glass or grass that you just enjoyed, smelled, or walked through by it. Anything could be just an angel as a messenger of Hashem with the job to be coming here. That's basically where we're wrapping up now this conversations of angels, I think. At least in the near Gemara here, we're not talking about angels, I think, so much. We're going to other phrases that are contradictory, and the Gemara is answering what's going on here. But this is what I wanted to share on this area. This is basically a key as to what we have learned till here, because otherwise my question would be, why would this come in here? Why would Shmuel suddenly say this to Rav, and why would it be documented, printed right in the middle of here when we're talking about the fiery river, we're talking about angels? This is specifically put in here as the key to understand what do we mean when we talk about angels. These are angels that happen all the time. Me talking right now creates angels, creates words that go into the air that are considered angels, because everything and anything can be called an angel with its purpose, with its meaning, and with its message or with its job that it has to deliver. Okay, moving on. You want to add anything? Interesting. Okay. So the Gemara is moving on now with another phrase. Now, this is not anymore related to Masa Merkava so much, or to what we're coming to there, but the Gemara is still bringing in phrases here to wrap up these ideas of what we have learned till now. So Ksiv Echad, in one pusik we learn, it says, Levishai kislak chivar isa'ar raishai ka'amar nekal, which means that Hashem is compared or is seen as white hair and a white garment, white like snow, and the hair is like white wool. I believe this is what the pusik says. This is one phrase. The Ksiv, and then we see in Shir HaShirim, King Solomon refers to Hashem that his hair, his side locks are black like a oirav. Oirav is this walk, this bird that goes quack quack, it goes around as a real black bird. The oirav, that his hair is black. So what is it? Does Hashem have white hair or black hair? What's the story? So the Buddha answers like kasha. It's not a question. Can be yeshiva. When you say that he has white hair, that's when he's in study. He's in school. He's studying. He's learning. That's how the vision was revealed, that he's in the school. The kan bil milchama, and here he is at war. The Umar Ma, because we learned, ein lechu nua be yeshiva ele zukim. You're not going to find beauty, a real beauty in schooling. Only someone who's an elderly person who has spent many years in his study, and you can see his deep knowledge and understanding of so many years of studying and learning stuff. You're not going to find beauty at war, someone who's young and strong. You're not going to find an elderly person to be beautiful at time of war when you're looking for stronger young people. So what are we saying here, and where does this come into the Gemara? It's the same thing here. The Gemara is wrapping up what we have learned till here. And we have learned how Hashem has revealed himself through these fiery winds coming from the north, as Yecheskel wrote. The Gemara is now writing this up, saying that Hashem has no shape. He has no form. He has no body. And therefore, you cannot say he is white hair or black hair. It's a vision, the way he reveals himself. And that's why at some place you would see him with such a vision. In some place, it's basically at every place, the most beautiful idea that you can put in that place, that's Hashem. That's basically what we see here. When it comes to a place of study, you would see him as an elderly with a lot of years of studying. When you see him at time of war, you'll see him as young and strong for a time of war. You would see him and the vision wherever you are. So if that's the case, we know, I'm putting in here my own stuff, we know that Hashem has created humans in his shape. B'Tselem Elokim Berusi. Hashem has created us in his shadow, that we're in his shape. Now, if he has no shape, if he has no body, then what does it mean we have been created in the shape of him? So the answer for that really means that we have been created the way Hashem wants to be presented in this world. Because he himself has no image. But he wants to be presented in this world. This is how we can see Hashem. Look at a human being, you're looking at Hashem. And this is where we're coming back to this message, where Hashem, that ultimately all we are is Hashem, and so is the Gemara, and so is everything around me. Everything is part of Hashem. we are part of Hashem, but we also have a part of Hashem that's not created, that's the creator, and we have that power. And this is where we come back, as we have been created in his shape, means in his shadow, means that we are the way he wants to be presented in this world. So we have to understand, looking at another human being, to appreciate that we're looking at Hashem. Loving another human being is we're loving Hashem. Because this is how he wants to be revealed in this world, because he created us in the image, how he wants to be presented here. Okay, moving on, the next phrase. In one phrase we learned, dinner, that this chair, the throne of Hashem, I don't know if it's surrounded or if it's made of dinner, which means sparks of fire. And in the other phrase it says, it's another pusik, Darti karsuvan remiv v'atek yomen yisiv. I can't translate this pusik, this phrase word for word, but what I do see, it says karsuvan, the chairs. It's referring to more than one chair. But the first phrase says there's only one chair that has fiery. So is there one or is there more than one? So the Mur answers like kasha, it's not a question. And the Mur is going to bring a couple of a runaround, a little different interpretations on this answer. Like kasha, it's not a question. Echat loy, one was for Hashem, the echat leDavid, and one was for King David. Now, don't jump on me. The Gemara is going to attack it itself. Because we learned, Echad loy, one is for Hashem, the Echad leDavid, the one is for David. Divrei Rabbi Akiva, this is the words of Rabbi Akiva, this is how Rabbi Akiva said it. Omar Rabbi Yossi Aglili, so Rabbi Yossi Aglili tells Rabbi Akiva, Akiva, he calls him also with his name, Ad Musai, Ad To'os Shechin L'chol. Until when will you make Hashem cheap? Why do you make Hashem cheap? Because you're saying that the King David, which is a human being, has a throne up next to Hashem. So he says, Elu, it means something else. It means Echad Ledin, the Echad Letzedakah. We know when it comes to seven spheres in Kabbalah, there is always the flow, and then there's the resistance, the boundaries. Chesed, Gevira. Then there's Teferes, which is the balance. Then again, Netzach, Had, which is again flow, but continuous flow, and continuous boundary is Had. And then Yesod is the balance of both. So there's these two powers, Din, which is boundaries, Gevira, and Tzedakah, which is flow, which is Chesed, which is to give. And that's what he says. These are the two chairs that Hashem would sit on each chair when he is at any particular time. We know, for example, when it's Rosh Hashanah, Hashem is Yom Adin, Hashem sits on the throne of Din. And when it's not, all year, he would sit on the chair of Tzedakah, of Rachman, of mercy. So the Gemara has an interesting question here, which I don't remember seeing other places so much. The Gemara asks, Kibli Minai or Lo Kibli Minai? Which means, did Rabbi Akiva accept what Rabbi Yossi really tell him or not? Okay, many times we see in Shas, we see arguments between two sages, and the Gemara says, okay, he said that, okay, we're good. But here, the Gemara is interested to know if he accepted it. Did he change his mind later? So here's a funny story. So to Shema, the Gemara comes and brings us another thing we learned. Echat ledin ve'echat letzedakah divrei Rabbi Akiva. That Rabbi Akiva later on said himself that one chair is for din, is for judgment, and one chair is for chesed, for mercy. Rabbi Akiva himself said it then. But in this second time when he said it, Umalai Rabbi Eluzah ben Azariah, now we have another friend of Rabbi Akiva, and he's telling Rabbi Akiva, Akiva, malach eitzel aguda, why are you answering things in regards to philosophical stories? You keep your words when it comes to the laws of what's pure and what's impure That's your specialty. But when it comes to philosophical stuff, leave it to us. And he says, Eilu, he says a different answer. One is a chair and one is a footstool for Hashem. And this is what we have learned before. Kissa laishevulov, the chair is to sit on it. Sarafrov is adem raglov, to put his feet on it. And this is what we learned earlier, Shnema, because it says, Hashemayim kissi, the atmosphere, the heavens is my chair, and the earth is where I keep my feet. We have learned this before. And this is basically saying that Hashem has two chairs, which is Shemayim ve'oretz, the chair where he sits on and the footstool where he keeps his feet. This is what Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah. Now, funny, the Gemara is not asking now again if Rabbi Akiva accepted this now. Okay? So Akiva started off with saying one was for Hashem, one was for David, and then he got rebuked by his one friend, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, and told him, no, one is for judgment and one is for mercy. And then he accepted that and he started saying something else. And then comes his other friend and told him, no, what do you know about it? It's one for to sit on and one to put his feet on. So what's really the difference here? What's the common denominator? What am I walking away with here? Tough one. I want to say a few things here. I have a question here. If Rabbi Akiva changed his mind later and he accepted what Rabbi Yossi Aglili said, that one chair is for din, it's for judgment, and one chair is for mercy, then why does the Gemara even quote his first answer, that he said that one was for Hashem and one was for David, King David? Why is that even recorded? He changed his mind. Actually, he may have changed his mind twice as to what he's been taught. I'm going to say a daring thought, but again, this is something I take away. Akiva didn't have an easy life. Now, I don't know about Rabbi Yossi Aglili and Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah, the other two I don't know. But we know Akiva grew up very poor. He was a shepherd and he was unlearned, was an Amoritz until the age of 40, where things changed for him. When the daughter of his master, where he was working, wanted to marry with him. And when they got married, the daughter got kicked out of the house. They were so poor, they had a few kids in the house, and Rabbi Akiva and his wife sent him away to go learn. And then he became big and famous. And then he had 24,000 of his students passed away because they weren't respecting each other. So Rabbi Akiva knew a lot about life, and he knew a lot about being close to Hashem. He had, I can use the word, the audacity to say that King David was so close to Hashem that he got to sit on a throne with Hashem. He understood that that's a possibility. And the Gemara actually recorded it. He didn't just erase it, he changed his mind. That's just Akiva's vision. Akiva understood how close humans are with Hashem. So he said that that's a possibility, that's an answer, and the Gemara recorded it that way. Then when Rabbi Yossi Aglili told him, hey, you're making Hashem sound cheap, and one is for mercy, one is for din, and then Eliezer ben Azariah comes and said a different answer, is basically the Gemara is giving us a common denominator that we humans, if we learn enough Torah, if we get close enough to Hashem, we can come up with our answers. Now again, we have to get Kabbalah on this, but we can reach a place where we can come up with our answers to explain a contradiction in the Torah, to make it explainable for someone who's a Torah sage, someone who's learned enough, educated in it, and has enough backing that they get that power, that they can do that. This is what the Gemara here is giving us the key for it, saying that Rabbi Akiva understood that this could happen. Rabbi Yossi ben Glila felt, no, that's making Hashem very cheap, saying that humans can actually be like Hashem or be so close that all they are is Hashem, giving us the power of doing things, godly things, for people who are developed and close to Hashem, people having prophecy, where Hashem actually reveals to them the future, and they can say it with clarity. That's a very level of closeness with Hashem. So Akiva had that knowledge. He was able to say that. And we're going to learn later on about what else Akiva achieved that the others weren't able to. Actually, in the next page, we're going to learn that Akiva survived going behind the curtain. He went behind the curtain and he survived. And 3 others of his friends didn't. So we're going to get there and we're going to leave it for that. But this is something to take away here as a key, as in getting close with Hashem, learning about life growth and realities in life, that it's a power within us. I'm debating with myself if I should pause right here or we should continue, because from here, it's a big piece all the way till to the next page. And we're going to pause here because we're going into a longer piece here, and we'll start fresh. So sorry for keeping it so short this time. Hope to see you again soon. Let me mark this place. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you.